Hey there, everyone. Lee Stranahan in the home studio where we do the backstory every day. And by the way, I've been working for a bit, and we'll have video tomorrow. If you've missed the video, I don't know why you'd miss this. But, you know, it's fun to watch the video sometimes. And that's coming back tomorrow on the backstory because I've been working on it. Let me tell you about something else I've been working on. And if you've been a follower of mine, even casually on Twitter, you know I've been doing journalism for going on 14 years now. And I've been doing, for instance, reporting on stories like Russiagate, for instance. I'm the main reporter who's gotten that story right. And I used to do all sorts of stuff, but I've been slowed down by health problems and personal problems and other stuff, you know, rough divorce and everything else. But I want to tell you about something. My friend Jason Goodman is now co-hosting the backstory for 1 hour a week. Jason from Crowdsource the Truth. And if you've not heard Jason co-host, it's really great. It's a lot of fun. And Jason and I have known each other 30 years or so. And so we're friends. And that comes through, I think, when he co-hosts. We also have Carmine Sabia hosting 1 day a week. We've got other co-hosts, Mark Frost on Fridays. So we have some great new guest co-hosts on the backstory. But one of the things I've been doing with Jason for a while is my High Dive show that is on Wednesdays on Patreon. And because I've been working, although you guys haven't necessarily seen it, and I'll show you an example of that in 1 second. Let me explain the problem with journalism. The problem with journalism, and let me explain it this way, and I want you to ponder this for a second. Imagine if, with all the work I've done on Russiagate, or the stuff I know about the Kennedy assassination, or the history of globalism in the world, for instance, if I wrote an academic book on the history of globalism, it would get read by like 1,000 people, right? Okay? Now, if I made a video about it, let's say I made a film, because I have the capabilities here at the studio of making films. But if I did that, and I got it out into the theaters, and it played film festivals and all that stuff, it would reach some people, but not as many as if it were, let's say, up on YouTube, or if it were possibly on Netflix or something like that. Now, that's because as important as writing is, people don't consume their information that way, right? That's why Joe Rogan with a podcast now, who would have thought that form would be getting tens of millions of views? A lot of it is he's entertaining and he's fun to listen to and he's got good content. So I've got this 13 years, 14 years of journalism behind me, and I'm trying to figure out how to get these stories out. For instance, I know more about the Black Lives Matter movement and the real history of it than any reporter out there. And anybody who's been following my work for a while knows that. And I integrate these things, so I explain what the real history is. And that's what we're going to be doing, by the way, tomorrow on High Dive with Jason Goodman. We'll be talking about the Opium Wars and how the 19th century really started a lot of the globalism we're seeing today. We'll talk about it tomorrow with Jason. But what I want to tell you about is something I'm about to do on Patreon. I'm about to really start taking my Patreon very seriously. And it's going to be a special offer. It's not open yet. It'll probably be open by tomorrow when we do the show. But here's what it is. I'm trying to get more $10 tier members. Now, this is something I'm eventually going to do as a $20 tier. It'll be available to anybody, but you can save money if you order in the next couple of weeks. What you're going to get on the $10 tier is not just access to the show I do with Jason, but also my notes on articles that I've been reading. And I've hinted at this, and I've even talked about doing games and stuff like that. Well, one of the ways I think to reach a lot of people is through fiction. Allow me to explain. JFK, Oliver Stone's film on John F. Kennedy, is a fictional film, sort of, but it's based on reality. It's based on Jim Garrison, right? And there's a lot of truth there. But he's not trying to tell, he didn't do a documentary there. He did a film, a mainstream movie with Kevin Costner and Joe Pesci and people like that in it. And it's very entertaining. And it's not all 100% true. Some of it's fictionalized, but that entertainment factor got it to a bigger audience. You dig? So here's my plan. I'm going to start fictionalizing some of my journalism. And if you join as a $10 subscriber, you'll get, for instance, the first 15 pages of a script I've been working on. And this is a script that I call a true story set in a fictional universe. This is a story I've been working on, and you'll get the first 15 pages, which, by the way, a number of people have read already, and I've gotten very good reaction. And this is a movie script, and they're fun to read, easy to read. But this one is about a fictional story about what if JFK had not been assassinated. And therefore, one of the things that happened in the wake of the JFK assassination is that America was depressed. And when the Beatles came on, Ed Sullivan, it cheered everybody up, and the Beatles became huge. I'm doing a fictional story, and that's with the first 15 pages. And as I write more, I'll share this with you as well. The first 15 pages of a script that's set in a fictional universe, alternative history, where JFK was not assassinated. By the way, Jackie was. And there's a reason, and it's exposed in the film, why JFK was not assassinated. And JFK is in the film, and so are the Beatles, except the Beatles didn't become the Beatles. They bombed on Ed Sullivan. And instead, the crooners, Frank Sinatra, gained power, stayed popular. Elvis quit music, went into film acting, and won Academy Awards. Again, it's an alternative universe. If you've ever watched Elvis films, you know his film career didn't go that way. He wasn't winning Oscars or anything. But in this version, Elvis is starring in films like, he plays the Steve McQueen role in Bullet, for instance, in this film. And, you know, he was doing serious film work. And Midnight Cowboy is another film that he does in the John Voight role. But the Beatles themselves have become songwriters working for Frank Sinatra. You follow me? And so they're not the Beatles as we know them, the group, but it's the same songs, except as interpreted by Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. and Dean Martin and Joey Bishop, who does, with a little help from my friends from Sgt. Pepper, and they're all, picture Frank and Sammy and Dino and Joey Bishop all in the Beatles Sgt. Pepper albums, and that's playing in Vegas. So that's some of the stuff that's in this script. And the whole point of it, though, is by being an interesting alternative reality thing, like if you've watched The Man in the High Castle, based on the Philip K. Dick novel. That's a good example. By telling this in a fictional way, I can tell the truth about a lot of stuff related to the JFK assassination that people will be more interested in because they're going to track some of this stuff down. For instance, the reason JFK doesn't get killed. This is all based on, this is alternate history. You know, it's an alternative version of history, but it's based on the truth. In fact, the stuff that happens with the Beatles is based on Paul McCartney's relationship with Michael Jackson, where he asked for, you can look this up. At one point, Paul asked Michael Jackson for a raise because Michael Jackson had bought the Beatles catalog and he was making a ton of money and the Beatles weren't. And so he asked for a raise. So that, a lot of the stuff that happens in all these projects that I'm doing, and I've got another one coming up you'll like too, and you'll be able to get the script for that. The point is, if you want to read the script, see the progress as it goes along, see the research behind this so you understand the fiction and the truth, you'll be able to do that and support my work. It's a perfect example where you're a Patreon of the arts, not just my journalism. But that's going to be available for $10 in the next couple of weeks. After that, it's $20 a month. And you'll see the progress on the script. So anyway, I'm super excited about it because I've actually done a lot of work you guys haven't seen. And so I just wanted to tell you about it. So I'm going to finish it there because I'll let you guys get back to your night. Till next time, I'm Lee Stranahan. Check us out tomorrow. I'll be talking about this with Jason and give you the information so you can sign up for the special offer if you're interested. Do me a favor, share this. You're going to enjoy this because it's fun. That's the script, by the way. If you've ever heard my show, The Backstory, I endeavor to be funny, and I'm even successful vaguely sometimes. So that's one thing. I think you'll enjoy this. It's not heavy. Sure, people are assassinated. Sure, Jackie O doesn't make it out of the script, but we'll explain that in the script. And you'll learn a lot about the real Kennedy assassination. You'll learn a lot about the background, the Bay of Pigs, the things that led to it, and the consequences of the Kennedy assassination. And you'll enjoy kind of a trippy story that'll make you laugh out loud sometimes. That's all coming on my Patreon. Tune in tomorrow with Jason Goodman. Till next time, I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Till then, I'm Lee Stranahan. Bye for now. Have a good night.